Hi, my name is T.A. Scott. This is my video reaction for business law. The video overall, this is probably the first video that you actually kind of need some tie-ins. You need to understand the value of the video, kind of go into a little bit of a greater depth when it comes to analyzing the video and comparing it to how it's going to affect me in class right now or how it's going to affect the rest of the students in the class. It was a little bit deeper when it comes to international waters, basically understanding them, as well as trying to get a grasp on the importance of the video. Overall, once you kind of look past everything and try to develop a sense of what the actual point of the video is, kind of write it all down, look it over, and things like that, it's very important. I think it can translate directly back to the American economy, economies everywhere, honestly, and get a general sense of what this woman was trying to attack. So jumping right into the details of the video, she begins with 1957, the International European Union meets due to World War and human suffering, and they wanted peace and democracy for people. Within that peace and democracy, they found common European market to utilize among each other. They understood that it was easy to slip into a big business economy. They had seen the mistakes beforehand that caused a war, that caused people to be greedy. These businesses take in a lot of income, and then they start attacking other businesses. They take all them down. Pretty soon you have a monopoly, or if you don't have a monopoly, the government's giving you those big businesses a lot of revenue, as well as moving the regulations toward their direction so that they can have all power, and then give it right back to the government. It's interesting. It's criminal. It's criminal acts, and it can be tough to see because most governments, I'd say, aren't very transparent when it comes to where they're putting their money and where they're getting their money from, as unfortunate as that is. So the European Union wanted fair competition. They wanted a fair chance of making it in the business world. They wanted a fair chance of making it within the markets. Something they wanted to attack, and something that they thought would equal out to democracy, consumer power, as well as peace among not only businesses but consumers and the government. She kind of goes into what she does. It's interesting. I did not know this existed. Not that I'm looking into the European Union too often, but she's the Commissioner for Competition. She basically overrides all things when it comes to competition to find out who's being treated unfairly, who's being treated poorly, who's getting that aid from the government. She wants to ensure competition to ensure consumer power. Competition means the game is never over. There's always going to be somebody on your tail that's making a better product or giving the consumers a better price, or they have that brand loyalty. Competition ensures that nobody has a monopoly, and nobody takes control of big business and utilizes their power with the government hand in hand to create this idea where they can crank up prices for the consumer, and also start making poor quality products, services, whatever it may be. So she kind of asks this question, and she begins to answer it throughout the rest of the video. Why do we need these rules? It's easy to desire no competition. It's easy for a company to say, we're going to have a monopoly over everything, and we're going to jack up the prices. We're going to outsource all the jobs to an international factory, and we're going to make sure that we make the most money possible off of this, and the American people suffer for it. It's easy for that. It's easy for a company to wish that. It's easy for a company to see no competition as a benefit for them for the most possible profit. But what it does is it hurts the consumers, and it can potentially hurt the government. People are always hungry for more, though. People always are greedy. They always want more, it seems like, in the corporate world. They are never happy where they are. And there's no saying that they should be happy where they are. People always want to chase something bigger than them. More power to them. I think everybody should have that. but making sure that greed and fear does not take over and become too powerful, making sure that these companies, once again, these big businesses want a monopoly, making sure that they are in control of the competition, um, just doesn't make it fair for the consumer. It doesn't make it fair for the other businesses. It doesn't make it fair for the government. It's really a bad situation. It doesn't ensure peace. It's not really a democracy in those cases. Um, it can be very easy to criminalize markets. It can be very easy to work hand in hand with the government once you become that big business and make sure that no other company comes up. Make sure that you bump those prices up for consumers and then maintain the control. And then government, once again, can be acting within the criminal acts, giving power to more companies, eliminating other companies, making terms so companies can boost their numbers. The best connected, this is a great line, it's a good way to break everything down when it comes to government and big businesses. She says the best connected are the most successful, but not necessarily the best quality. Excuse me. It's a perfect line. Those that are connected with the government become the most successful because the government works with them and their quality dips. They know that they don't have to answer the consumer anymore and people are going to buy regardless, so the quality dips. Competition needs to be fair. It gives the consumers power, and we need to desire competition. She keeps hammering that point throughout the video. People truly feel the effects from a lack of competition. They just don't realize it. Absolutely believe this. You know, you see a price of something at a store, and you're like, this is ridiculous. But you don't realize in the process what that comes down to is the lack of competition, or a company that has the ability to yank up those prices. Gas prices is something that comes to mind immediately. Any kind of skirmish, wherever they're getting their oil from, allows them to jack up their prices, even though it's not realistic and it's not hurting the oil rigs or the oil prices from the original location whatsoever. These markets need to be expanded beyond. This is about trust. She really tackles the idea of trust between consumers, businesses, governments, over and over again. How important trust is. It's monumental when it comes to fair economy and consumer power. Being treated as equals and having the same chances and rules. This is her job. She makes sure that everybody has an equal chance. The businesses want to give you the best product when you have fair competition, because the consumers are going to buy the best. They're not going to buy the cheapest. They're going to buy the best quality with the best price, the best bang for your buck, I guess. She kind of touches on technology throughout. I'm not really sure where she was going with the technology aspect of things, but she does touch on technology and how it's going to change the way we trust each other. We now have to trust the algorithms. We have to trust the computers. We have to have the ability to not just trust that mom and pop shop down the street, but also trust in the algorithm that they're using to market to their people. We also must realize the information through technology is being paid for. If we can utilize that technology to our advantage and create incredible amounts of innovation, who knows? The sky's the limit when businesses are treating everything fairly as fair competition. We have the ability to utilize all kinds of technology. And like I just said, the sky's the limit when it comes to innovation with money and technology. Regulation and competition rules will enable consumers and businesses to aid in society and trust. They begin to trust each other, consumers, businesses, government. Everything goes round and round. That trust builds among, and the economy begins to thrive. We have the power as consumers when it comes to fair competition to force innovation, to force, excuse me, big things to happen. Overall, really interesting video once you kind of rip apart the actual tie-ins and find out what the video is actually trying to grasp and get a hold of, and kind of look over all the notes as a whole and find out exactly what she was trying to get at. Overall, good video, liked it. I think it compares a lot to the American economy and economies all over, and also the impact that it's having on consumers right now.